Vokey Sandwich. I don't know if it's really going to make me play any better than that. We'll see next summer how that happens. Putters. This is an old putter. It's a Seymour putter. Seymour putter. Like, this is battered, beat to crap. But I like the weight of it. I really like the weight of it. I'm thinking about replacing my putter, but this is not something you can buy online based on reviews, like a replacement putter. You need to demo them, try them. I like a big putter. I don't like a blade putter. I want it kind of jutting out, so we'll see. I think it's going to cost me a bit, but this putter works for me. It's kind of beat up here. It's not totally clean and smooth, but you know, putting, it's more technique than club, so I'm toying with replacing that, but it all adds up. What else? Oh, so if you're going to be an avid golfer, you need advice. Now, not on the course from your prick friends. You know, they're going to razz you, but one thing I never do is if someone has a bad shot, I never give advice, even if it's obvious. And generally, I don't give any advice on a golf course because I have no business giving advice where I'm shooting in the 90s. You know, like if I was shooting in the 70s, somebody asked, maybe I'd tell them, but you know, my brother-in-law, he's a scratch golfer, and to his credit, he really does, he knows the etiquette. So, moving on from that, so if you need advice, books. Ben Hogan. This is a classic book. Everybody should read it. It's got the fundamentals of golf, and it's easy to understand. It's called The Modern Fundamentals of Golf by Ben Hogan. Ben Hogan is a great champion who has passed away, and his book is easy to understand. There's a lot in there. Sometimes I don't, and there's lots of good illustrations and ideas, and so it's really good. He has another, so I read this over every year. He has another one called Power Golf. I haven't read it. I ordered all these books on Thrift Books. It's an online retailer. I have no affiliation with them. They're not going to give me any money for plugging them, but I find good prices. If you just want the book and you want to pay like $1.99 and shipping is like next to nothing. So this is another book by him. It's called Power Golf. Haven't read it, but need to. This is a reprint of a lady who's on the LPGA, and Ben Hogan says, hit the ball better than anyone. The best ball striker, man or woman, bar none. Mickey Wright. She wrote a book, and that is not her on the cover. And I bought this book online on eBay. I almost wonder if this is kind of illegal because, you look for the copyright and it says 2013, but, Mickey Wright wrote this probably in the 60s. Anyway, it's got great illustrations all the way through it. I've just started reading it, and I really like it, so I'm learning. And Mickey Wright, I'm going to kind of Google her and look on YouTube to watch her swing. So I just started that book. What a good title for a book. Golf is not a perfect game. I'm very patient usually on a golf course, but sometimes I really get angry at myself and get mad at myself. I don't throw tantrums. Once in a while I'll lose it a little bit, and this is a book written by a psychologist about the psychology of golf for the player, and it's not a perfect game, and you need to understand that. You need to lighten up. And, generally I have a great time on the course, but sometimes, you're grinding, you're playing really well the previous round. Like one time at my home course, I'm switching home courses next year too, on the front nine I shot 41. Awesome, right? 41. So if I could shoot, on the back nine under 50, I'm breaking 90. I think on the back nine I shot like 55. The pressure just got to me. I ballooned and shot like a 10 on one of the par fives. And so I have a lot of studying to do. The Bogeyman by George Plimpton, I believe. Yeah, this is supposed to be a really good book. I think he followed the PGA Tour in the 70s, and it's kind of his collected stories. I might be wrong. Haven't read it. highly rated, and gonna check it out. Here's an old classic, Jack Nicklaus, certainly a man to listen to when he speaks about golf. I like reading these older books about golf because the advice sometimes is consistent, never changes, like with Ben Hogan's book. What he said then in like 1955 is still true today on a lot of things. But with Jack Nicklaus, for instance, if you look at his old swings on video, like on YouTube, he really hinged his left knee, and his left foot heel would lift up in his takeaway. And if you look at the modern golf swing, like Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Dustin Johnson, they don't lift that left heel off the ground. And so years ago, I used to lift the left heel because it just seemed natural, and I would hinge the left knee quite a lot in the takeaway because it generated more power. But I found I was also far more inconsistent. So then I tried to take on a modern approach to swinging a golf club, keeping that heel on the ground, and then I became all arms. I wasn't turning my torso. Anyway, an old book like this has advice. Now, it might not be modern advice, but, you know, it's worth checking out. So, in fact, do we see? Yeah, so on the backswing, it actually shows that his left heel is off the ground in his takeaway. Wow, you know, they don't recommend that anymore because you got to be very consistent. If the more moving parts, the more inconsistent your swing is going to be in terms of contact with the ball, supposedly. But I remember there was in the mid-70s, there was Kelvin Pete. Now, Kelvin Pete was a self-taught golfer, and really a great golfer. Always entertaining to watch. And I remember growing up watching him as a kid on TV. And Kelvin Pete would bend his left arm, and which is a no-no if you're trying to be a consistent golfer. Most professionals don't bend their left arm, and even I can keep my left arm straight in my takeaway and downswing. But Kelvin Pete bent his left arm, but he was always consistent. I was talking to an old golfer, and I said, well, gee, he bends his left arm. Like, that must not be good for his game. And my friend said, well, Jason, he always bends it in the same spot. He's always very consistent in his contact. Jim Furyk doesn't bend his left arm, but he's got this really wild, loopy swing, but he's very consistent. So if you can be consistent, I guess you can break the rules. Last book is How to Play Your Best Golf by Tommy Armour. This is an old book. I like old books. This is from really old. Published in 1953. I got it on Thrift Books for $9 or $10. But I like this is reading history. You know, it's just what's that? Somebody's got a little note there. It's just reading history. Maybe I did that. And so then another book to look at. What else? I think that's about it for golf. So the status of my golf game. I'm going to try to break 90 this year, this upcoming summer. In New Brunswick right now, all golf courses are closed. Typically close on the 31st of October. I'm switching golf clubs too. I forgot to mention that. I've been at this older golf club, but a lot of my friends want to play this modern, relatively new golf course. It's called Kingswood. It's about 30 years old. Very modern style. Really nice traps. Just more attractive to the eye, and frankly a bit easier, broader and forgiving, so if you slice or hook it you can recover better, and I think that's why a lot of people like it. I just wanted to change, and my friends are all playing there, so I had fewer people to play at my old club, and although I don't mind playing alone because you can really focus on your game and you can be very relaxed and try different things. So yeah, new club next year. I just joined, and my good buddy Calf he's joined too. So, and we got a couple of guys there that are already members, so it should be interesting. So that is my golf update. don't think there's anything else to tell you. Oh yeah, and the other reason I like this other course is it's got a 9-hole executive separate and apart from the 18-hole signature. So during the week, me and my buddy were going to play the 9-hole after work every night, and then on the weekend hit the signature 18. We'll walk the 9-hole, but on the weekend we're going to get a cart for the 18 because it's a long track. And you know, the thing about golf on a long 18-hole course, I get played out by about the 13th hole if there's any amount of sun out there. So get my cardio on 9, no problem, but you need the cart for the longer back 9. That's it for now. Next week I'm going to review Cardew. I may try to upload it tonight or get it done and get it out there. Cardew is a 12-year-old single malt owned by Diageo. An old friend of mine, Jeff Carr, who passed away, it was his favorite malt. And years ago I had it and I wasn't really crazy about it, so I tried it again. Cardew is not bad, you know. It's mostly goes into blends. You're going to taste it in the Johnny Walker blends, but been sipping it and kind of liking it. So review on that coming up. Thanks if you sat through this entire review of my golf bag, and please comment below what's in your golf bag, and if you still fantasize about getting blade clubs or the other thing I was thinking about, and you can't see